Hey everybody. Recently I was challenged with a question about vision. There's a lot of semantics using the terms vision, mission, goals, purpose. And I thought it was important that I probably should articulate exactly, as succinctly as possible, what it is that I'm trying to achieve and why. I'm going to start with a premise of the gift. Initially, when Honor and Remember was floating around in my brain without the name, one of the things that I realized in meeting families and talking to them, crying with them, is that they all wanted to know that their loved ones had not been forgotten. Some reminder, some recognition, right, that their loved one was appreciated. And that became my premise. It was, how can everyone be appreciated? How can these families know that, their neighbor, somebody in another state, their church, anybody who they interact with, how do they know that they haven't forgotten? Because it's an uncomfortable topic, right? Not everybody's going to bring it up, even if they know you. And so my premise was, I wanted to give a gift. I wanted to give the best gift I possibly could to not one or two families or 10 or 100 families, but every single family. How do you do that? Well, what came finally to my mind was the concept of a flag. Because if you think of all the ways that you can get somebody's attention, what is it? A news story, getting on television, a podcast, writing a book, whatever it may be, there's only so many ways of getting attention. And so I thought that the best way of getting attention was a flag. It was something that flies in the breeze, that flaps in the wind, that gets your attention. It says, hey, look at me, I'm up here. And most people see flags everywhere, right? And because we're a patriotic nation, we fly flags. We fly American flags. We fly flags that we are associated with. The college, the branch of service, our state flags, whatever it is, right? We have a flag that states our loyalty, right? So I thought the concept was a flag. Okay, now what do you do with that, right? Because if I'm going to give a gift, and that gift is going to be a flag, and not a physical flag to a family, but the idea that the flag sends a message to the family that they haven't been forgotten. So that if you fly a flag at the corner of your facility, business or home, that thousands of people may go by every day. And so you're sending that message. And so the more flags there are all over this country, the more messaging is being related and the more people are being reached. So you may not know these families, these Gold Star families, but they see that, right? They see that flag. They see that image. They're getting that message, right? So that became the concept of a flag. But then what do you do with that? Because in order to give the gift to everyone, then everyone has to see it. Well, who is everyone? Well, to me, Gold Star fallen hero families are in every corner of our country, everywhere. Every small town, every little city, every state, everywhere. So how do you communicate to everyone? Well, then you have to get the flag everywhere, right? Naively, I thought, well, if I could get federal adoption, then it would be accepted, it would be embraced, and the federal government would fly it, and then everybody would see it, and that would be the end of my mission, or my premise, to give the gift. But over the years now, going on 18 years, I realized that that really was not realistic. It wasn't practical. Because even if I get the flag federally adopted, that doesn't mean it's going to fly, right? Just because something is legislated, written down on paper, that doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere, because not everybody would know about it, not everybody would see it. And so federal adoption becomes a goal, right? Because the ultimate vision is that this flag flies on every flagpole in America. I mean, that would be, right, the dream in my mind's eye. Every flagpole in America would fly the Honor Remember flag. So that becomes the vision. And then subsequent to that is that the flag becomes one of the most recognizable symbols in America, so that not only is it flying, people recognize it, and then education begins. We begin to talk about it. Why is it there? What does it mean? Why is it important? And so if you can look at the progression of what I'm explaining, is that we have a gift, or we have a premise, which is the gift. We have a concept of giving that gift, which is the flag. And then we have a vision that that flag is everywhere, so that everyone who has sacrificed raised and loved a loved one who has paid the ultimate sacrifice is recognized, right? Is recognized to know that their loved one hasn't been forgotten. And then under that, you've got the mission. The mission becomes getting it federally adopted. The mission becomes getting it state adopted. The mission becomes getting it on every other flagpole that you know of, on rest stops, on corporate buildings. You know, you've got corporations like Home Depot and Lowe's and hotels and golf courses and school systems, right? This is after the federal adoption and the state adoption. So really establishing becomes the key, right? Establishing the Honor Remember flag across the United States. And establishing means everywhere, right? Establishing it on your home flagpole all the way up to the federal government. And so this becomes the overarching vision of what we're trying to achieve. Now, those who are listening to me can take any piece of that, right, and go, oh, wow, it's not federally adopted yet. Well, I can contact my congressmen, my representatives, my state senators, my U.S. senators, and go that route. Or you can take the mission of state adoption. If it hasn't been adopted in your state, then you can go after that. Contact your local representative, get the bill introduced, and let's get it done. We have 28 state adoptions. That's over half the country already. We have a few more to go, right? 22, not bad. So you could work on that legislation. And if it is legislated already in your state, is it flying on state buildings? Let's get it flying. Let's actually make that gift a reality of flags on flagpoles, so that these families see it, right? It's not a gift unless it's seen. And then subsequently to that, school systems. If it's adopted already in your state, then, you know, is it flying? School systems are a great place. They've all got flagpoles. It's a great place. And what does it do? It also encourages education, right? Because we need to be educating our youth in the values of patriotism. And so all of these concepts, right, roll up into what ultimately has to happen. We need to have this flag flown everywhere, so that every family who is sacrificed is given that gift of remembrance. And I've said this over and over throughout the last couple of years, that we can always remember one that we know, or a few in our state, or, you know, maybe we lost comrades. There are many ways that we can remember individually, right? But collectively, through the value of the Honor Remember flag, through its existence, it pulls us all together to be on the same page, saying the same message to every single one of these families. Would you join me in sending that message? Get activated in whatever way possible. Together, we can accomplish the vision of national remembrance, of giving that gift with the concept of the flag, with the mission of flags everywhere, with the ultimate final goal of making sure that no family is ever forgotten. From the past, the present, and those we may lose into the future. Remember that individually, we remember those few, but together, we remember them all. Thank you.